Hey everybody, thank you for clicking on this video. Are you guys ready to figure out how to get this look using nothing but NYX lipsticks? Yeah, because I used this to do my eyeshadow with today, so yeah. Anyways, I'm in a weird mood today, guys. Okay, so just bear with me. At least on this day, because when this video comes out, it won't be this day. Anyway, so this right here video is about to start, so that way you guys can take and see how to get this ever so red glamour out on the night town, going to the club, like, you know. I'm trying to think. There was like a RuPaul's Drag Race member that had like an eye makeup like this. I'm trying to remember what her name was or who she was. Anyways, okay guys, let's go ahead and get this tutorial started. Hey everybody. Okay, so first things first, we're going. I have my beauty blender in my hand, like I'm just talking with it. Anyways, okay. So I'm gonna start off with my MAC Prep and Prime primer for my entire face. About 3 pumps of this as well. All these products will be listed in the description down below. So go ahead and coat your face in your primer and let's get this show on the road. I kind of like to take my wet beauty blender and kind of sponge around a little bit. Give it a little bit of moisture so that way your face isn't so dry. I had this one piece of hair that's like sticking out right here. Okay. So next up, I'm going to get my MAC Studio Fix Foundation Fluid, and I'm going to put a couple of pumps on the bottom end of my beauty blender. Grab my trusty hand mirror like you guys know me for, and I'm going to take and disperse this around the face so that way I get an even coat everywhere and I'm not going back. Why does that look like puppy dog prints? Okay, so after our foundation is applied, we're going to go in with our Kat Von D primer, our concealer from Kat Von D. This is in the shade Natural L1 Natural. It looks white on film, but it's really not. It has like a pinkish opaque tone to it. So I'm just going to put this all over my T-zone area. So now that it looks like I have war paint on, we're going to go back in with our beauty blender, not the bottom, but the top part, and go ahead and start blending this in and making sure that it is blended and buffed into the skin and well nicely highlighted. Okay, so now that our highlighter is nicely buffed into the skin, I'm going to go in with my Airspun powder. You can get this at like drugstores and stuff like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and disperse that all over the skin using these right here makeup brushes from VP Wow Planet Vanity. I have a coupon code down in the description of the video. Use Heavenly and you get a 70% discount code. 70% off of the brushes that are originally $100, so you only get them for $30. So go ahead and check out those brushes and stuff, and let's go ahead and use this small little kabuki brush and disperse our powder all over our face. Okay, so now that our powder is nicely set on our face and our foundation and highlighting is nicely set, I'm going to get my angled brush, also from the VP Wow makeup brush palette, and I'm going to go in with my NYX matte liquid lipstick, and I'm going to use this to actually do my eyebrows. A lot of you guys have been asking, how do you do eyebrows? How do you do it? What do you use to do it with? Well, here we are. So I'm going to take just a little bit of this and I'm going to put it on the back end of my hand. And then we're going to start lining out our eyebrows. Okay, so now that your eyebrows are done or whatnot and everything, which as you guys have noticed and everything, I usually take and I do my eyebrows in strokes since I don't have any eyebrows. I usually just do them in little strokes and kind of like draw on the hairs and stuff. So next up, we're going to go in with our MAC Pro palette, and I'm also going to grab a nice flat synthetic brush and everything from the VP Wow palette. And I'm going to do my brow bone in this light shade, like right here, in this lightest shade. Okay, so now that we have that brow bone highlighted, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. As you guys know, I love to use this shade right here to take and do like my crease as like my starter shade. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a little bit of that in my crease to go ahead and start building in my eyeshadow. Okay, so I wanted that color to be really intense because since this is a very intense look, I just want to make sure that I have a really nice gradation. So next up, we're going to go into the fun, and you're probably going to think I'm really, really crazy and everything, but I'm going to use actually matte liquid lipsticks from NYX to actually do the eyeshadow. Reason why is because it's a full pigment product, and it also dries matte, and it's not going to be wearing off anytime soon because I'm pretty sure your eyes aren't going to be eating any oily food unless somebody like shoots you in the face with like grease or something like that. But so first things first, we're going to start off with the lightest shade of red, and it looks really bright, but then we're going to use the darker shade of red to really intense like-ify the entire look. My best advice to you is by doing this, this is a full pigment, so start out with a small amount, blend it out, and then keep building until you get to that full color that you want. So we're going to start off with the lightest shade first, starting from the actual like full portion of the lid, moving on up. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit right there, and then I'm going to take my main fluffy brush, also from the VP Wow palette, and just start very slightly blending that up into the crease, very slightly. Okay, so now that that's blended out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fluffy brush, I'm going to take some of my MAC brush cleaner, take it and put it a little bit on top. I have a towel in my lap. I'm going to take that, run it around in that just a little bit, so that way whenever I do the other eye, it's not going to like transfer too much product. And then of course make sure that that is nice and dry, because that MAC brush cleaner will mix with the lip and turn it into an immediate water cream, and you'll be painting with watercolors at that point if you're not careful. Okay, so now that we have the red on both top end of our lids, and it looks like neon red, extravaganza, however you want to call that, we're going to go in with the darker shade also to make sure that your brush is clean once again and completely dry. We're going to go in with the darker shade, put that right on top of your lid, and just blend that out very lightly so that way you don't cover up the brighter. So that way you get a nice gradation. Okay, so now that we have both of those done, we're also going to take the darkest shade from NYX and we're going to take an angled brush, which would be this, and we're going to run this underneath the eye and make sure that you have your fluffy brush nearby so that way you can buff it out just a little bit. And if you want to, make sure that you go ahead and take your NYX lip stick and go ahead and put just a little bit right here on your hand so that way you can use your other hand and apply it directly from your wrist and put it directly on underneath your eye. Okay, grab your fluffy brush and blend that out ever so slightly. Okay, now go ahead and do the other eye. Okay, so now that that's all buffed out, we're gonna go in, make sure that you clean off your angled brush. Now we're gonna grab our MAC Black Track Fluid line from MAC Cosmetics and make sure that you have yourself a angled brush, and we're gonna go ahead and do a nice big fancy winged eyeliner to top off this look and make it just a little bit darker. Okay, so now that our liner is done, I'm gonna go in with a more defined, like eye fluffy brush. Like, okay, here's the regular fluffy one right here on the right side, and then on the left side is the more defined one. And I'm gonna be using the defined one to add a little bit of darker shadow into the crease to define the crease from my MAC Pro palette. I'm going to be using this right up here, this one right here, to deepen my crease in my eye. So, yep. We're going to go in with our bigger fluffy brush and we're going to buff that out and blend it into the eyeshadow. Now that we're done with that, you guys know that I love my Star Wars mascara from CoverGirl, so I'm going to go ahead and use this to go ahead and coat my lashes. Okay, so now that our lashes are nicely coated, we're going to go ahead and apply our false lashes. And the lashes that I am using are from Sally's Beauty Supply. Okay, so now that we have lash glue on the lash, we're going to go ahead and let that get tacky real quick. And then we're going to look straight down into our mirror and go ahead and apply that. First starting with the inside of the eye, working your way to the outer corner of the eye. Then grab a pair of really fine tweezers, grab the front, and press down. And then grab all the lashes and press down on them so that way they're nicely integrated with your real lashes. The mascara will help press them together so that way they look more natural. Okay, now that we have one lash on, we're going to go ahead and move on over to the next lash. Same process again, let that get tacky. Start with the inner corner of the eye, looking down into your mirror. Moving on over to the outside of the eye. And then take your fine tweezers, grab the front end of the lash, and press down. And then press all the lashes together. If you love makeup just as much as I do, leave a comment down in the description and tell me which part of makeup do you love the most. Is it lips, eyebrows, foundation, contouring? What's your favorite part of doing makeup? Like, leave it down in the comments and let me know. Because my favorite part of makeup is doing lashes, because lashes for me change the entire look. Like, you would think eyebrows would change the entire look for me. No, it's lashes that do it for me. Okay, so next up we're going to move on to contouring, and we're going to, of course, with my favorite product ever, move on over to the Kat Von D Light and Shade palette. Doesn't this look perfect with like this background and everything, where it's like black, like tattoo lettering, I'm tattooed, red eyes, background, it looks perfect. It looks like I'm sponsoring this, but I'm not. And everything, it looks perfect. Anyways, so I'm going to go in with my VP Wow Planet Vanity brush from the makeup brush set, the contouring brush, and I'm going to go in with the lightest shade. And of course there is a built-in mirror to the Kat Von D palette, which is phenomenal, but I'm not going to be using it. So I'm going to go and use the lightest shade, and I'm going to start contouring from the high points of my cheekbone and work my way downwards towards the center of my lip, because if you're ever wanting to know where the hollows of your cheekbone are, do this. Like, just do that, and you'll see it right there. And we're going to go in with the second shade from the top one and move our way down to the second one and work just a little bit in the actual hollows of the cheek. And just a little bit on the forehead. And buff that out. Then we're going to go over to the bottom one, which is the darkest, so just one tap is really all you need. And then just right here on the hollows of the cheek. And I'm not putting any of this on the forehead though. Okay, so now that our face is contoured, I'm going to go back in with my little kabuki brush, and I'm going to buff all that and make sure it is nicely blended into the skin. We have a nice gradation. Okay, so now that our face is nicely contoured and we have our eyes and stuff done, we're going to move on to the lips. And the lips are actually going to be the same shade as our eyes. The only difference is we're going to use the darker shade on the outside and the lighter shade on the inside to add a little bit more dimension to our lip shade. So I'm going to go in with the darker shade and work my way on the outside of the lip. Okay, so now that we have our lips lined with the darker shade, we're going to go in with the lighter shade from NYX, and we're going to do this right in the middle. Now, don't smack your lips together, but take your large blending fluffy brush and just blend out the edges on your lips with it, just like you did your eyes. And get a nice gradation of color. Okay, and of course, clean off your brush. And I did test out these colors as well, and just an FYI, whenever you're using them on the face, they do not stain the skin. The skin will not be stained at all, which for me was a plus considering how pigment these colors are, and how like well pigmented they are in general. Like they will not stain your skin. Now we're going to take and move on to highlighting the face, and I was in Sephora a little while back and I seen this right here, Lovely palette by Revlon, and you can't really see it, kind of. Anyways, this right here palette is absolutely adorable, and it has 3 shades in it. It has 3 shades in it, and these shades go from darkest to medium to brightest. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my blush brush, also from the VP Wow palette, and I'm going to run this in to the lightest shade, and this also has a mirror in it. So I'm going to be using this, and I'm going to work right up here on the top part of my cheekbone. Okay, and then I'm also going to take I got this right here from Victoria's Secret. It's the Very Sexy palette, and it also has this like wonderful multi-dimensional like colors of pinks and like light stuff and everything for blush. So I'm going to use just a little bit of this, and it does have glitter in it, so I'm going to use a little bit of this to do some color on my cheeks, just a little bit. Okay. And since we also have our Revlon highlighting palette out, I'm going to get myself my very smaller eye brush, and I'm going to run that into the lightest tone. I'm going to put some right in the tear duct of my eye to brighten it up. I'm also going to do some right up here on my brow bone as well. Okay guys, that right there is basically the finished look. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I had so much fun taking and doing this, and I'm pretty sure you guys enjoyed the actual color that's going on in this and everything, like different background and stuff, and my lipstick prints back there. So yeah, and you'll probably see those more like around Valentine's Day and stuff like that. But anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and I will see you next week for our next video. So I love you guys. Bye. And the I can't talk today. Can't talk today. But anyways, if you I just threw my brush at me.